If you agree that Hawke's Bay is New Zealand's premier food region, that no one grows food like we do, and that our food industry is fertile ground for big, bold ideas, then you'd also agree that if a food innovation hub is going to succeed anywhere, it's going to succeed here. As a food region, we've led the way in the past. Now, it's time for the Hawke's Bay Food Innovation Hub to lead the way to the future.
I think the development of a food innovation hub in Hawke's Bay will certainly help businesses by providing them with the ability to increase more value.
It's about encouraging innovation and entrepreneurship, which has a flow-on effect to other businesses, and it creates a culture within the region of being future-focused and forward-looking.
Another asset of having a hub here would attract people to the region who have those skill sets. Also, a hub would allow people who aren't necessarily at the stage of being able to resource to come together in a place which is designed for that purpose.
We have all these products, we export a lot of them in their raw form, and the opportunity for some food innovation is to add more value and therefore create better jobs and more return for their business and ultimately our region.
At this point in time, there is no infrastructure in place to support businesses, develop food, develop the processes for food, develop the ability to sell that food outside Hawke's Bay and outside New Zealand.
So that's where a hub, I think, in Hawke's Bay would be an absolute asset to the region.
A centralised food innovation facility in Hawke's Bay will enable us to take up the opportunities that came out of a Future Foods conference that Business Hawke's Bay facilitated last year, which was around focus on innovation and being forward-looking.
What we know is that we often work as a lot of individual businesses. So by having a centralised facility and bringing people's capability and their capacity together, sharing innovation, encouraging innovation, will ultimately help all the businesses by working together and learning together.
So we need something to provide the base infrastructure that can be used across Hawke's Bay in order to develop the range of food and food-related products and related technologies that Hawke's Bay requires.
I suppose it goes back to that piece about attracting quality, educated people from the industry into the area.
And also encourage our young people who are very innovative and entrepreneurial, and by bringing them into that space we can certainly create, again, better jobs, more jobs.
It will directly lead to a wider range of skilled jobs being required in the Hawke's Bay. And skilled employment is something that this region desperately needs.
This is a really exciting opportunity for Hawke's Bay. We have a pillar within our regional development strategy, Matariki, that is around encouraging business productivity, innovation and growth, and the Food Innovation Hub will be a key element in supporting that pillar.
EIT has a fundamental role in developing skill required in Hawke's Bay and supporting the development of capability here in Hawke's Bay.
This would centralise it to the rest of the country, to the rest of the world. It would be a centre, potentially a centre of excellence. So the excitement is around what it could potentially do for Hawke's Bay as a region on the map. And I think being a food technologist who grew up in Hawke's Bay, when I first studied, there wasn't a huge amount to come back to for a career focus, so I didn't come back. But now as graduates of the food tech degree, if you're from Hawke's Bay, there's so much opportunity.
The opportunities for a food innovation hub here in Hawke's Bay span a range of areas, both the development of new food products, supporting industry in Hawke's Bay, particularly the larger number of small and medium-sized organisations that we have to scale up and commercialise, supporting the development of new technologies, both physical technologies, agri-tech, and increasingly digital technologies that relate to food production. Over time, there is the possibility to house specialised equipment at a food innovation hub. That particular equipment may not be determined at this time, but as it comes in, it becomes accessible to organisations across New Zealand in the same way that other nodes and the Food Innovation Network support business across New Zealand.
This opportunity for Hawke's Bay is extremely exciting, providing kai that can be available to the world, and having a mindfulness with regard to the future of foods as well, in terms of different proteins and the need to innovate continually to stay in front of the dietary habits and requirements of not only people in New Zealand but across the world.
A food innovation hub in Hawke's Bay is a natural fit. It's the future of food. How will you fit into that future? Let's talk innovation and opportunity.
The Waikato Innovation Park is full of like-minded companies that work in the agritech space. What we enjoy mostly about being here at Waikato Innovation Park is profile. As a small to medium-sized enterprise, being here at the park just gives us a big profile when we get overseas visitors, customers, and so on coming through.
Our team really likes working at the Waikato Innovation Park. It's very handy on the eastern edge of town, and yet it's outside of the central city. But more importantly, it feels like an innovative environment. There's modern buildings, there's a sense of businesses who are keen to help each other and to grow and to create new things.
I think we could have grown as successfully elsewhere, but I don't think we would have done it as quickly. And we also have like-minded companies that we can share ideas with, or go to another company that may have done something similar to get some support or guidance. So it has helped us take some jumps in our growth rather than learning from the ground up.
Yeah, and from day one, like Callaghan Innovation has been based here, and Callaghan has really helped us with research funding in our early days, which has helped us grow bigger, better, and faster. And I realized quite quickly that the park had something that the other location didn't, and that was connectedness.
We benefit from the Innovation Park in terms of its broader ecosystem, not just the businesses in the park, but others in the region and wider who the park interacted with. And that was really helpful to us for building out our own network of organisations who we work with. It is recognised certainly in New Zealand, and I think to an extent from around the world. There is the sense of, when you say to somebody, we're based in an innovation park, they go, right, so we already know you're an innovative business.
I think we're a success story in ourselves, because Quantech was a two-person company when we moved in here in 2009. And now we're an international company trading in many countries. Through locating here, we run into service providers and research partners all the time.
The Innovation Park itself has got a team of people here who are involved with business support, so they can put you in touch, and they put us in touch with people like Callaghan Innovation and New Zealand Trade and Enterprise, and other advisory businesses and advisors. And that's been really helpful to us as we have invested in R&D, as we look to move offshore. And so for us, the benefits pan out in terms of employee engagement. This is a place where people want to work, and they pan out in terms of customer engagement. There certainly has been a percentage uplift in our turnover, particularly in the early years, and then that lift in the early years compounds on itself as you grow. And so for us, being really connected into the ecosystem of people here in New Zealand and overseas is really important.
It's what you would imagine other very innovative and connected companies have. It gives you that feeling that you want to connect and be quite open when you're through there. It's a great place to work, just because you can just go and hang out and chat, as well as working seriously in your office.
Staff from our business and other businesses are sitting outside in the sun, they're at the picnic tables, they're talking, but also staff are saying, well, I'm going to get out of the office, I'm going to have that meeting outside somewhere. And if we were in the middle of a central city, in downtown Auckland or Wellington, we just couldn't do that. And to us, that's a vibe that makes the park very unique.